And welcome back. I'm Mike with the Turntable Teachers, and class is back in session. Here for another guest speaker episode at AOA Studios. If you're an artist, podcaster, or content creator of any kind, be sure to reach out to us at aoastudios.org and book your session or service today. All right, so now I'm joined today, of course. I mean, they're all incredibly special guests, but this man in particular to my right is quite special, as many of you might be seeing and know. I was joking with him off air that we probably should have done this already, but kind of perfect timing given everything that's been going on with this man. He's one of the best performers in Massachusetts, really in New England, that you'll see. Like for your money, he's worth watching, no doubt about it. He was just on Rhythm and Flow season 2. Can't wait to talk to him about that. He just released Spirit of a Warrior, his project last year, and the deluxe is on the way pretty soon.
Yes.
All right, and
this is some updates on that today.
I got questions for you about it, so I can't wait. Of course, this is none other than Boston's very own SeeFour.
Yeah.
And we got, of course, Rob, Mr. PutInWork, behind the scenes, as you know. That's pretty obvious, right? SeeFour's here. Great chance that Rob's here as well.
I think Mr. PutInWork. I like that name. Thank you for having me, man. Thank you. I'm blessed to be here, man. Honored.
Of course. Now, like I said, it's been a long time coming. Obviously, I've been following your story for quite a while. You're one of the first names I feel like I came across when I started the podcast like 5 years ago. So
and we have an interview out, I believe. It's pretty, it's like 2019, probably 2020.
You and I?
Yeah, like over Zoom, I believe.
Did we? I don't think we ever did.
Did it?
No.
Maybe I'm bugging.
No, you're good. Well, you're outside. You do a lot, so it's all good. You're good. No, that's what I was saying. I haven't had you on yet. I think we've talked about it a bunch of times, but like it's never actually happened.
Really?
And if it's over Zoom, it doesn't even count anyway.
Yeah, it don't count.
No, fuck count. That was a time that I'd rather just kind of put in the past and keep there. I'd rather not bring it back.
COVID times and all that. So okay.
But I kind of want to start with here because, of course, for anyone's a fan of SeeFour just being introduced to us for the first time, we start every episode with a segment we like to call The Objective, where we get to know a little bit about our guest and their background. Mm-hmm. And what I find fascinating about your story is that it's funny enough because, like I said, you're one of the first names that I heard about when I kind of got introduced to like the independent Massachusetts music scene, like I said, 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. But it still shocks me how young you still are. Yeah. Like how early on you've been doing this and doing it at such a high level and being recognized at such a young age. Yeah. And you're still it's a very ripe age of 24 now, 23?
Yeah, just turned 24
Just
March
turned
16th.
24. Yeah. Well, happy belated birthday as we're recording this.
Pisces gang.
So I guess my first question is on just kind of like how early, obviously starting out as this early as you did, and like I know you won Leedz Edutainment's rap race when you were 15.
Yeah. Shout out to Leedz.
Yeah, and the runner-up for that is actually our business partner here, Zafir. He talks about it pretty frequently.
Yes, me and Zafir got a picture too, and me, him, and oh my God, I forget the name. Yeah, bro, there was so many people. Brandy Blaze was in that competition. So many people was in that competition. Joe Grizzly was in that competition. And it was just for me. It was very surreal. I didn't even. Like, I wouldn't say I didn't think I didn't deserve it, but about time I really went home, got back on the red line, got on the train, went from Wife wherever I was at, all the way to Ashmore. I was just like, I understand what I did, how I had to do it, and what I had to do to get to where we're at now. And then honestly, I think that opportunity, like how my manager always says, opened me up to meet him because that's where he saw me. So that's just a couple. I just feel like that was a moment of things working in play, and I didn't just really know what it was and how it was until it happened. So that was a grateful night for me.
I love that. Those stories are the best, right? And it's like you said, you put it best. Like you don't know you're in those moments until like you look back on it. I had a similar thing with actually Zafir when the first local show I would consider local show that I ever went to. I just moved into my cousin's house like This would have been summer of 2019. And
Okay.
I was at a crossroads of the podcast. My co-host had left. He didn't want to do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wasn't I didn't want to do a podcast by myself because who wants to talk to themselves? It's kind of strange, right? So I was like, in my head, I'm like, I would love to interview artists, but I don't really know any artists. You know what I mean? So I moved into my cousin, and that same night, he's like, hey, one of my buddies is a rapper. He's got a show at Icon in Boston. You want to go? And I'm like, fuck it, why not? So we're in the car, and he's like, yo, you should ask him if you can interview him. His name is Washi. He's in Arizona now, but at the time, so he was opening up on this 3-artist set, and he's like, oh, you should ask Washi if you should interview him. And I said, all right, it's cool. So I see him perform. He was dope. Ask him to interview. He says, yeah, of course, that'd be great. And then the second artist that was on the bill that night was a guy by the name of Marcel Stefan. And so I'm walking by him, and I just dap him up. I'm like, hey, yo, your performance was dope. Really appreciate it. And it was funny enough, like my friends were kind of giving me shit because I was a music podcast. I had no intro music, but I don't play anything. So like there was kind of a reason for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so Marcel goes, what do you do? And I'm like, it just randomly, and he didn't know me from a hole in the wall. He's like, oh, so like, your name's Mike, what do you do? And I said, oh, I kind of tried to talk it up. I have a podcast, whatever. First thing he says to me is, do you have intro music? And I'm like, no, my friend's been bugging me to get this. He's like, I got you. Sent it to me. It's been the intro music I've been using for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And then the headliner that night was Zafir. And now now obviously fast forward 5-6 years now, I own a recording studio with this man.
Well,
so just like to know, right, that like that night was kind of the turning point to like everything else opening up. So like I can very much relate to like what you're referencing in terms of like the trajectory and just like looking back on it and knowing that night
like
was
I went in. I didn't know what was gonna happen, man. I didn't know like the prize was $500 in a slot on a show, and I didn't know who was gonna be coming down to Boston performing Middle East downstairs. And then, like I just said, shout out to Leedz for just believing in someone like me and just putting me on that stage. And from there, I didn't hold back anything. I didn't, I did honestly say for most people, like, yo, if I do this, I'm sorry, but I got to. Like this is just one of those things in my career where I was kind of like how you said, I was hungry at a real crossroads where it's like, again, yeah, I'm taking a train to get to my shows. I'm literally leaving the house, coming back. Like I just remember going home, like I said, having as much money in my pocket that I ever had in for a show in one night, in a while. And then, just being like, what's that show gonna be? And then it ended up being one of my favorite artists, J-Rock. So that was just like all in tangent, like a thing where it was like, just believe in the process, trust in the process.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful sentiment. One of my first questions about this whole thing is kind of just, again, you won this when you were 15 years old, which I feel like people are still trying to obviously figure it out. Really, at 24, people are still figuring it out. I just feel like you're so ahead of things, which is such an amazing thing. But so kind of take me back a little bit further than that. Like, have you always been someone that just like has been itching to perform even as a young kid? Or was this something that maybe fostered a little bit more in your teenage years? Like, I'm really curious about that journey for you.
Yeah. As a kid, like I would say around the ages of 6, 7, I was always around music. So that really fueled me and fueled my heart to like, understand just what frequencies and music do and how it makes you feel, So me being, I grew up in a time where it was like, real radio driven. So, when I was hearing stuff on the radio, if it wasn't from my mother being like, actually like putting me on the music, it was a lot of the 06 hits, 05 hits. I'm hearing, Bartender, I'm hearing T-Pain, I'm hearing all these hits on the radio, like, okay. And at that point, I think for music connoisseurs like us, we can see the shift. We could see like hits coming in and dances coming into the music now. 100%. And like through that time, 6, 7, 8, I was always fond of music, just hearing it. I used to go on bus runs with my mother. She used to work for Locomotion, so I used to just be in the bus, just every trip, every day with her when I like wasn't in school and just learning music like that. I basically had music class all day in the car and the type thing. And then I just got older, and as I started to get to elementary and shout out to the Mattahunt and teachers like Miss Levin and a lot of the staff there, Mr. G, a lot of the people that was like fueling me. Emily, we had a city year worker that would like pull me out of class and when I'm getting distracted and be like, yo, let's write music. Like there was so many things that kind of like took me away from what I didn't want to do. And that thing was the music, and I just followed it from there. And then once the performing came about during that time, during elementary school, I performed for my my 5th grade graduation. And I think from there, that was my first performance ever. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And it's so funny because funny story about that, performing that day, I woke up late and I lived all the way in Phil's Corner. So I got to, Phil's Corner, Mattapan. I'm calling everybody. I'm like, yo, today's my graduation. I got to perform at my graduation. And I just didn't want to miss that day. I just didn't want to miss school that day for some reason because I was performing. And I showed up late. Like everybody was like, yo, where you coming? I was like, yo, like overslept just like every day for class. And I performed. And from there, I just took it and just ran with it. Just kept going. I got to the Timothy, and that was in middle school, and I was in Roxbury, and I started to do like plays. I did a Black Nativity play for a little bit. I don't think I was actually in the play, but I was rehearsal and doing it like every day after school. And I think what really capped me off was when, like I would always say, because you mentioned Brockton, shout out to Brockton, and I reference Brockton as like, my G League as I compare myself to being a basketball player. It's like I went there to go, build myself and build my assets and build the people and understand, like when I'm learning all of this stuff, when I take it onto the real court, is it gonna work? Is it gonna, are the opponents gonna fall for it? So like for me going into Brockton, I think that was my hop off the stoop, moment. And I did a talent show at North Middle School, and then I won the talent show, and I was just like, I got to keep going. I can't stop. I'm doing everything I need to do in the environments that I'm being put in, which would be school most of the time. And I just was like, this is what I want to run with. And then performing, understanding dope performers that come from my city, like a Bobby Brown, and watching a James Brown, and just understanding like, these are trendsetters. You know what I'm saying? Understanding the artists like Prince, I love. He's a performer. And all of that can translate into music 5 times better when you know how to do it. So that's where it kind of all started from me. It just started started from school, and then me not being a big fan of school. It was like I can do this outside of school and keep doing it and take it somewhere. So I just started to win a lot of competitions around. After I did that talent show, I did a gospel competition, won 2,000 for it. I did the It Factor. I was like 3 years. I did it like 3 years, 2 years back to back, won it. And I was just like, I want to keep doing this. I want to keep doing it.
I love that. And to your point, like I think when you see to be so focused on the performance end of it, like when you just as a music fan, like it's just such a different experience when you watch an artist, or maybe even not an artist you're even a fan of yet, but like if you're at a festival or something like that, when you watch them perform, it's just there's nothing else like it. You can listen to a song and be like, oh, this is a dope song, or this is catchy, or I'm feeling something from this or whatever. But like to be there physically in the moment, like when you're watching an artist or a musician perform, especially one that you really like, it's just there's nothing like it. Like
I actually had a show the other night that I couldn't perform for, and everything takes account for me. I think vibe, just the environment, the venue, like all those things take account for me. And I don't take it too serious where it's like I won't do something because of the venue or this or that. I just think for me, that night I just was like, I don't want to perform that bad. Like I think that I want to understand when I do go up to that stage now why I'm doing it and why I'm on that stage. And when I am on that stage, everybody knows, like you said, I'm going to give my 100. I'm going to give 110, So I just think that me now, it's been about, the music, the marketing, and am I comfortable, and everything else will lead its way,
No, that makes total sense. I love that.
But I was very mad. Like I couldn't perform. Like I wanted to so bad, and I just was like, nah, man, the vibes it's not right. And that stones my heart when I can't make a performance, when I can't perform, when I can't do something that I love to do, like that. So I take performance Very, very serious.
There is a maturity in that, though, to understand, like, recognize where you're at in that moment to pull back a bit. You know what I mean? I think that's important as well. Like, that's...
I think that's too. That's why we have management.
Yeah.
Because I think like in those moments, I'm just the artist, and I think that when you have people behind you and beside you, just to say it's okay, bro, it's all right that you can't. Why? Because we have bigger to do. You have way more to do. You have you could be home focusing on what you have to do. So I think that just having a support system even in the midst of this and doing what I'm doing with things like performing and going on these big moments and just leaving it all out there is what it's about.
Makes total sense to me. Well, speaking of Mr. Rob Kelley-Morgan behind the camera right now, very curious about your guys' relationship. Obviously, you guys have been working together for a really long time, and I remember him say that him talking about how that where he was basically him seeing you for the first time performing. Like changed his whole kind of perspective on just what he wanted to do too in terms of his career trajectory. So how has Rob like really impacted you, as you talked about a little bit, but how has he impacted you as an artist, and just like what do you think it is about the working relationship you have that makes it, just for lack of a better word, work so well?
I think that's the word that I think that we use and we go by. Put in work. So I think that I mean, for me right now, I believe I have the best manager ever that I can have by my side. And then even then, just through Massachusetts, I haven't met no other managers that actually has known what I've had and has seen me perform and been like, I want to manage you, kid. Come over here and let's do it. I don't think there's ever been that. And I've known a lot of people and seen a lot of people, and a lot of people has seen me. So I think that, right now, it's kind of like how you're saying, like, you wouldn't do this interview unless I really want to interview the person. I really want to understand what's going through their head and how they work. So, Rob supports me 100% in going forward on these things. And I think that it makes it better when he's more of in my mind, like, don't be in your mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and just understand where you got to go, how you got to do it. And like I always say, like, you can't do it alone. So to have someone there that's that knows the game, and like his favorite I'm saying, the game is the game. You gotta be with people that know how to play it. So that's a good thing. I think 100%. That's a plus in that field.
Well, big shout out to Rob. Doing what he does.
Put in work, man. Put in work. We coming.
Yeah. No, you guys are a great team, and just from afar, seeing how you guys move, it's inspiring, and I think a lot of people recognize that too. So very, very well done.
Yeah,
I do want to obviously transition to the main lesson of the show, where we talk about what you got going on now, or recently, I should say. We gotta we're kind of burying the lead just a little bit. Kind of had to build up to it a bit. Rhythm and flow, bro.
Yeah.
So I was such a huge fan of that show when it came out initially, because growing up, I liked American Idol and all that jazz. Okay. But then to be a hip hop fan though at heart, then to see like a competition like that, kind of jump on the scene. I was like, oh my god! And then just becoming such a huge fan of D Smoke after that whole run, and he's one of my favorite artists as well. So, but then for season 2 to come on the scene, and then for you to be on it, I think we all were just so blown away. But obviously blown away, and actually I don't mean it that way. I mean blown away from the sense of like, just how
he's really on TV.
Yeah, he's like, oh, yeah, like we know that dude. Like that's crazy. You know what I mean? Not shocking that you were on it, because you totally deserve the slot, but just kind of from that perspective. So I have a bunch of questions about this. First of all,
thank you, man.
What was your first question I actually want to ask, because I know your family's super important to you. You have a big family. Like, did you guys do like a big watch party for the first episode? And if so, like what was like your family's reaction to like seeing you on the big screen like the very first time?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we didn't. Okay. We didn't do a watch party. I know some people that did, that very much supported and like hit me up. I think Slick Bay, she threw a watch party for me. That was hard. Like there was so many people hitting me up, man. I couldn't really like fully grasp when it first came out how that was gonna go. But no, we didn't. Unfortunately, my family did sit and watch it though. Like my mom called me, my sisters, my brothers. Everybody was very, very happy, and I think that was the biggest support strength doing all of that was my family. Like I think they played a very big role in like the ups, the downs, just me wanting to understand like what I'm doing and express myself in that moment if I couldn't to people. And yeah, like they support me 100%. I think even then, like my mother, being the biggest part, she was like, I think more loving than anything in any moments that I've ever had. It was like again, like I said, I've brought home $2,000 checks and it's done been like, go take out the trash, you know. But with this moment, it was like nah, like I'm sending my son off to go do something, and it's what he loves, and he don't know how he's gonna feel about it. I don't know how to feel about it. You know, I'm praying every day. I feel like that was my mother's mindset. Just, you know, bless him, protect him, and let him do the best that he can going to do something like that with people he don't know, never seen, never met. Yeah, just do what God told me to do, you know. And that was just, again, move forward. Don't ask for too much and don't ask for too little. You know, just be very humble. So my family was big in that part. Once I came home, you know, my mother was all open arms and everything. And like I said, I couldn't really, like, it was something that was very unexplainable because I've never experienced it before in that way. So the love from my family was very, very potent. It was good.
Super cool. I love that. I felt like that was just a good place to start.
Yeah.
Your reaction when you found out you were going to be on the show. I forgive me, the details are a little blurry for me, but I've totally heard either one of you two, either Rob or yourself, talk about this, where you were you were in Atlanta and you met somebody, or you were somewhere and you met a producer at a take me through how that sort of how
so
that
I
happened.
So it was someone that was doing casting for the show. So basically like a music A&R casting for the production. And shout out Cab Casting, shout out everybody over there in Atlanta. They was pretty dope, and they just really, I believe they believed in me. But through my job that I told you about, that I was working through, I basically met a person, and she hooked me up with the spot. So shout out Jasmine from LA. She hooked me up with the spot and was like, yeah, just do this. She didn't tell me what it was or anything. She just was like, fill this out. Keep going for it, and anything that they tell you to do through email, whatever, just do it and keep going through with it. And I did, and that was the best thing I could have did in my life. Like literally listening to her and just understanding that, you know, even in that nature, like I met Jasmine and I didn't know what to think. You know, I didn't know, you know, what she did. You know, I knew for the just the profession that we were in when we met each other. It was all, you know, around music and just production and all of that. So I knew she did something of that nature, but just didn't know what exactly. So yeah, shout out to Jasmine, man. And yeah, that was just an experience that I just ran with, and I trusted my gut. I didn't double hesitate, think about it. I just was like, bet, okay, cool. And yeah, I just had to like give everything. I had to give my life, my family situation, and all just what I'm going through, and why do I do music, and what fuels me to keep going. And yeah, I got picked, and they was like, yeah, come on out to Atlanta, buddy.
I love it. The first audition, or the initial, when you're about to go perform in front of Ludacris, Latto, Big Sean, and Khaled. Like, take me through what that first sort of day is like on the set of this thing. You know, especially like, is there anything that like as viewers we don't see necessarily, like from a behind the scenes standpoint of how that process goes? Like, where are you waiting for like hours to go on stage? Are they kind of doing it in waves? Like, how does that all work? And then just, I want to hear from like your perspective on, you know, what you were feeling before you just like step on that stage to like perform in front of these four people. Legends, actually, I should say. Not even people, legends.
It was a great experience. I could definitely tell you that. They had us do audition tapes first. Okay. So before we even, you know, got picked, like that audition was to solidify the spot on the show. That wasn't even to solidify us as artists or like where, like, you know, let's put this person here or put that. It was just like, nah, like, you know, do those tapes. We did the audition tapes. I rapped. I did like 2 of them. And after that, I got through and got to Atlanta. And once I got to Atlanta, yeah, they was just all, like, again, like I said, shout out to Cab Casting, you know, Clive, Dave, like they all, everybody took care of us to the point where it was like, I said Dave, sorry. Dwight, Clive, Dwight, a lot of people over there, they just, again, helped us. They just helped us, bro. Like, whatever we needed, they helped us. And it wasn't, like, I'm just doing this because this is my job. And it's like, nah, I've been doing this for years. So I know, like, how you're feeling right now. I've seen 30 people feel like that. So right. I think that was very good, that we could have kind of like trainers in a way, like emotional trainers, people
to lean on in that moment.
Like to kind of just guide us through. And even then, you know, they was very like reciprocal with it, where it's like, you know, yo, you're looking after yourself, you're a grown person, we ain't looking out for you, you ain't no kid, or we ain't babysitting y'all gotta, you know, write, and when we say do this, do that, you know, just so it can go according to plan, so we're not losing money or backtracking or anything like that. So they was doing everything just by schedule, by script, sticking to it, so, you know, we're not feeling discouraged in these moments that we was doing that. I would say leading up to hopping on that stage in front of, you know, Big Sean and Latto, DJ Khaled, Ludacris, it was like, it definitely was a weight game, you know, and I love the weight games. I hate them, but I love them, and I hate it because it's a weight, and then me being a performer, I have that feeling that I just want to get on that stage. So that was like a thing where it was just like, you know, threading out. But I think in those moments, you got to just keep, like do something to keep yourself in the threads. Just keep yourself in the threads. And we did like a little, just like a little sound check before we kind of go up there, and they see us, and they have people up there kind of like being them, you know, so it gives you like a little just trajectory of where it's going to go. Interesting. And after that, like they just threw me on the stage. Like, you know, we did the sound check. We had to wait a little bit more, and then it was like, all right, let's go. And I can say what really killed me in that moment, like in a good way, not in a bad way. And I think that's why my energy was so up, because it was like, I'm on the side of the stage, I'm seeing myself, I'm looking at the camera, I'm seeing myself in the camera. I'm like, oh, this is like a movie right now. Like I'm in a movie. So that was like, you know, again, it wasn't anything that was out of the ordinary for me. I think that a lot of these moments that I've had in my career, in my life, has been leading up to that moment, to use all of those things in that moment to have me make it that far. You know, I don't think if I would have had like half of what I know now, I would have never made it that far. It would have been very hard for me to understand, like, do this, do that, do this, reflex quick. And yeah. And just too, I honestly, I think the best thing on the show that made it good when I went for that first audition was I just kept my mouth shut. I was humble, kept my mouth shut, and just was like, all right, like if I didn't do something for you for that performance, yeah, I can't wait till the show dropped to watch audition 2 and 3 and see who made it through. So that was a good thing, and I just appreciate Netflix for giving me the time that I had on camera when the cameras was on me for me to do what I had to do. You know,
it's awesome. I audibly cackled when Ludacris was like, "You got crazy energy, maybe too much," and I was I thought it was so funny.
Yeah, like even into that nature, like, you know, again, and even then I cackled, like I just said, because it was like, you know, I could either stone face, like, oh, what does that mean? Too much energy, or I could have just been like, kind of like how I said after the interview, Ludacris said too much energy. That's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Again, he didn't say nothing bad. He just was like, yo, I just think that with all that energy, if you compact it and put it here and put it there, which I've been watching a lot of Ludacris's performances since then, and watching his social media performances since then, and in so many ways I kind of understood what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, Luda might come out with all that energy, but like the big shoes, the big hat, the big hand takes half of that, and it's like, well, at that point, now you're gonna be listening to what I'm really saying and stand up and move, get out the way. Like what I'm really spitting, you're gonna have to understand it and really listen, because why? The image is already with me. You already know I come out in big shoes. So yeah, I just think that when I understand, like in that tier, what my energy was doing, I think maybe that energy was good for you know, the around the town and kind of like I said, to get where I was at right there. that's what got me there, that energy. So what's gonna get me to the next one? Like you know. So I think that taking that advice was some of the best advice. And then you know, just everybody being very reciprocal. You know, Khaled being like, I think that you're an artist that can be produced. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody had a different kind of outlay for me as an artist when they see me on the stage. It was like, you know, I think Khaled was like, performance is fine. Let's get you a hit. You know, I think Latto was just like, you know, I don't know, but I feel like you got something and I like it. You know, I feel like Luda was just like, you know, all that energy. I know what you need to do with that. You know, Big Sean, I feel like he was like, you know, you got it and you just got to find out where it works. And once it works there, stay with it and keep building on it. You know, what I'm doing now. So yeah, all of those was great inputs into, you know, what makes up of who I am as an artist. And, you know, I think with what I've done in my life, you know, I think I've managed a lot of the SeeFour energy and artistry. I think I was like very into that. But now since I'm getting into these different, you know, vibes and these different characters and these different like just how can I say, even in like aliases, like when I do the spirit, I think I'm like, when I'm by spirit, I feel like by spirit, I'm doing everything by my spirit, you know? So, I feel like a lot of this sector in this capsule, that was a lot of like rough SeeFour. It was like rough SeeFour. Now we're thinning out that spirit brand and how we like feel when we're, you know, when we're in that bag. So, all of that was good feedback for me to run with. And once I got off stage, I was just relieved. I was just relieved to get off stage. And I even then, like when I was performing in audition, I seen people in the crowd I knew. Like a lot of people knew me. I remember I went to what is it called? Coalition DJs throw it every like Saturday out in Atlanta. But I seen like a person who interviewed me there in Stankonia Studios and all of that. So it was like, it was full circle moment. It was like me going up on stage and I'm seeing you in the crowd and I'm like, all right, yeah, we're home. We're home at this point. Or like that point, I'm looking in my mind like I'm doing something right.
Sure.
Where people in the crowd that I know. I remember I got into the car and my mans from Atlanta ran up on the van. Like I got in the van because they had to take me to the hotel and take me back. Like once we performed, we go into the van and we had to leave to go to the hotel. And my man, like my man's from Atlanta ran up on the thing like, yo, SeeFour. And the driver was like, you know him? And I'm like, yeah, I know him. But it was just good. It was a good experience, man. It was dope. It was dope.
And to see you, to your point a little earlier that you made, like for you to take that feedback, I actually feel like you really did well with that feedback in the next round, in the cypher round. I feel like that was like probably your strongest showing on that whole group. I felt like you guys did great, but you in particular, I feel like you really shined on that cypher. But I totally want to talk about, of course, the rap battle with Sura Ali, and then of course Eminem giving you the praise that he gave you. In my opinion, I don't know if it's going on much of a limb here, but I thought your battle between yourself and Sura Ali was the closest of any of the rap battles. Like I felt like that really truly could have gone either way.
Yeah.
But to kind of, how hard was it for you to kind of like continuously change and almost like alter like the different parts of what it meant to like do like the, you know, to rap basically? So like obviously you had the opening audition where you could kind of pick whatever song you wanted, and then you had the cypher and then the rap battle. Like was it hard to continuously keep putting on different hats in that facet? And then as a follow-up, I definitely want to, if you can get a little more specific about you know, your battle with Sura Ali, and more so, but like how Eminem's advice or and feedback was for you.
Yeah. One, I do say coming off the show, I don't think I would have did anything different. But just probably just more mental exercises. I think that's probably something I would have did different, more mental exercises. But other than that, like the cypher and going into that was a beautiful thing in itself, because like, you know, that is one of my hats. That's one of my strongest hats. So I understood too, you know, what hats that I didn't wear as much, and I knew what hats that I've always worn and has had on. So with the battle one, I knew that was a hat where it was like, it's a little shaky when I put it on. Just due to me having a battle rap kind of experience and career, I think I went, I would say like 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? Or really like 1 and 1. And shout out to A-Rod because so funny being in Brockton. I met someone named A-Rod. He's a rapper. And he battle raps, does music. But we was in the same cipher together. And what we did was after the cipher, we basically rap battled each other. Okay. And we rap battled each other because we felt like we was the nicest on the cipher. So it was just really like a good career move to like understand, do I want to do this? And what more comfortable to do with a person where we have a mutual understanding. So that hat, like I said, has always been shaky for me, where it's like, you know, I've always rap battled and loved to do it, but you know, the writing, the remembering, the double entendre, which again, I will say a lot of people didn't remember their stuff.
Oh no, absolutely. So, that was
and for me, I won't throw any written into something that either someone's gonna own or some crazy ish where it comes back to bite me as a writer or as an artist. So that's another thing. Like everything I was doing on that show was fresh, new. You didn't hear no spirit verses. You didn't hear no, I seen SeeFour rap that. No. So that's why I did what I did in Cypher, and I did auditions the way I did. It was more comfortable to me. And with the rap battle, you know, again, when you're when you forget, you know, I think your best thing to do is freestyle, which a lot of people don't know how to do. So, you know, it gets shaky when, you know, certain people don't know how to wear the hat, so they take off the hat and put on the hat that they know best. But again, like I said, for me, it was all about facing a new challenge and understanding that I got to get better in what I'm doing. So if you tell me to write in 5 minutes, that's what I should be doing. I shouldn't do anything over, under, or do anything different, because why? That is not the challenge. So like with the Cypher, I think we all understood the assignment. Shout out to Yoshi, shout out to Cali, shout out to Detroit Diamond. And those individuals are just dope individuals because they know what they want. They know what they write. They know how they want to portray it. They know, like, again, we was all kind of up in arms in that cipher, but then we understood we're with each other. We're not against each other in this moment. And I feel like shout out to Netflix for putting what a cipher is to me, because I couldn't explain it no better. A cipher is supposed to make each other nicer. It's supposed to put us in a space where we're ciphering off each other. So just don't mess it up. And then as far as for the battle, going into that, I had, no regrets. For me, I could vouch for myself and say that I wrote half and I freestyled half. In any other rap battles that I've ever did in my life, I've always freestyled them. I've never written. If I had something written to you, we battling next week, I'm not writing against you, bro. If I feel like I can rap, if I feel like confident, I can freestyle against you, that's what I'm gonna do. So that's what I did. Can't speak for others. And then it just comes down to a thing where it's like ownership. Anything I wrote, I gave, y'all have it. So it's like, to the world, what do you want the world to own of yours? What do you want them to take of yours? And I think the best thing that you could take from this you know what I'm saying, young man that was on Netflix, is that I'm from Boston. and that we're gonna keep rapping until the wheels fall off. I don't know. So all of that was just, you know, emotional jumps. All of that. All of those hats I was putting on was emotional jumps. And like I just said, I just never shied away from the hat. If they gave me the hat, let's put it on, let's do it. And I'm gonna make it look how it looks in my way, in my form. And I think that's what Eminem was saying when he said what he said. He was just saying, like, you got the tools, you got everything in your toolkit. Now go use it. Go fix some shit up. And sometimes you're possibly gonna have to break things on purpose just so you could tell people and show people that you can fix it. So I think that with him, that was some of the best advice I can get, and an Eminem cosign as well. So you know, man, that experience gave me as much experience I think I can get with that situation out of entirely everything that I've been through in my career. Yeah. That was like, you're here now. And then God just showed me so many signs, like, you know, don't mess it up. You know, being overzealous or being cocky or, you know, not being understanding, you know, that was like all of my fields. Be understanding, be real. Someone asks you something, speak up. Like, you know, all of those things. So, yeah, I wouldn't take nothing back from it. That was awesome. a blessed experience to have.
Yeah, no, and you made it very far, and we were all like I said, extremely proud of how you repped the city. Like, you repped Boston incredibly well.
Yeah.
At every turn, you made it a point to make sure that, like, you did that, and I think all of us here, like in Massachusetts, like, just not only appreciated that, but just like, it was so cool to see.
Yeah, man, our name should be on other places and in other places for many other reasons than just like sports or some shit. You know
I know,
what
sports and education. It's like, all right, we got more than that here. You know what I mean? There's more to it. My last question on the rhythm and flow side of things, you know, of course, sorry.
No, even then, like, you know, shout out to every artist. I want to say that. Shout out to every artist that went up there and gave their all and understood what the mission was, and that, again, your mother can see you on TV, your family can see you, your friends can see you and understand like who you are. So like, shout out to everybody, even the ones that didn't get to hit the stage. Shout out to, you know, people like Merkham, shout out to T-Spoke, shout out to, you feel me? Like, there was so many artists that didn't make it, and but they made it in so many like other ways, which is crazy. So, you know, shout out to them. Shout out to King Hoodie, man. Just like everybody like that was going full throttle with their gifts and talents. And yeah,
King Hoodie was dope. I liked him. I thought he got a little
yeah, me and him built. So fun fact, we went to so that was a reason why I didn't have a streaming party with my family, because I was in Atlanta for a event that they had, basically doing, like, they was showcasing the trailer. Latto performed, and they had a battle rap and some other things, and like Ludacris was there, the executive producer John Legend was there. Everybody was there from the show, and it was just dope to see that experience, go through that experience. But I was out in Atlanta during that time when the show dropped, so I was actually in Atlanta when Rhythm and Flow dropped to watch it in Atlanta, and that was dope. That was like, again, I'm going back to the place I did it at to watch it. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people were supporting me back home in Boston, so I just love that for everybody and for me, and I'm happy that people could feel that way, like someone's putting on for them and just giving a great example of artistry from here. And then after that, after I spent the day out in Atlanta, me and Rob and my family, I actually went to LA by myself and just went to go support Yoshi on her project release, and LG on her project release. And I went to another premiere that they had out there in LA, which was dope.
Hell yeah. Speaking of all, actually, I'm glad you brought up some of the other artists, because one of my questions was, and I know you're spending a good amount of time with some of these people, was there an artist in particular that you felt like you connected a lot with? If there was maybe one or two you could think of that you really felt like you walked away from, like, all right, I have like a new homie in this rap industry, and like it's them.
It was a lot of them. I think for me personally though, like, shamelessly, my personal favorites, Yoshi, one of them, and that's just because Yoshi, I built with her manager. Shout out to Python P. Shout out to just everybody over there, Big B, everybody over there on the LA side. I linked up with her producer and manager before I even got on the show. I was 23 when I shot Netflix. I met her manager and engineer at 21.
Oh wow!
So that was 2 years before. J Taj was a dope homie. Me and him ate. He's like crazy. I caught him at breakfast like every morning for some reason. Like we would get up, I'll be up. So my thing was gym, breakfast, and then just back to the room, like stuff like that. So me and him would talk and just build. And shout out to J Taj, bro. Love, bro. I see you out there killing it. He just actually did a performance with LaRussell out in Vallejo. So that was just dope. Like everybody's moving how they need to move. Like like I said, I went to go support Yoshi. On the project. Alpha Beta out right now. Go check her ish. You know what I'm saying? Shameless plug. She got Ab Soul on it, Daylight on it.
I saw that. I was like, damn.
Like these are
great. It's a great project.
And these are artists that understand what even field I'm in, doing my artistry. And if that's not my field yet, don't say nothing. I'll probably be over there in a bit. Like that was a lot of the artists that I met. Shout out to Detroit Diamond. She helped me when I got to Detroit with some ish, and that was dope. Just everybody, man. LG's the homie. Me and her, since we left the same day on the show, me and her was at the airport all the whole day, taking shots, just talking, building. It was just all good. All good experience. Tony the Kid, shout out Tony the Kid. Me and him was together in Atlanta all like the whole time of the premiere, and just going to every spot, event together. Go check out his stuff, man. It's a lot of artists out there that's really hard working, and they don't look at themselves as over other artists. I'm me. This is what I do. This is where I'm from. This is how I hold it. And if you need something and you're a genuine artist as well that do the same thing as me, then we can connect. So that was a lot of the artists. Even then with Sura, shout out Sura. Sura, me and her was like low key best friends on the joint, but once they was like, y'all gotta go against each other, it's like, damn, son. But yeah, everybody, man, everybody gave their heart on that show, man, and some walked away like if it wasn't an accomplishment, and I want to say that it was, because you was there. And some people 100%. Was on IG like, when did they have this going on? When did they? So the fact that you even had somewhat in that story to say I went and I did this, and come on, man, these are things that our favorite artists wish they probably could have had in their careers at the youngest pinnacle at their career. So yeah, this was dope, man. And like I said, all the artists went hard. They went hard, and yeah,
totally. No, like I was so blown away by a lot of the performances throughout the entire show, and in particular, like I became just a huge fan. I mean, a lot of us did, of course, but Jay Taj, bro. I mean, that "Believe Me" performance that he put on, like on that round, was crazy. I mean, Sura Ali as well had some incredible rounds in the later rounds, and it was just and even to see Dre TL, someone like him, kind of just his arc throughout the show as well was super dope to see. So yeah, man, I think. I was just, but overall that.
And too, like all, in it all of the overall, it's like, these was good people. Like, these are good people. Not even what, these are good people. So, I think that the TV can make you look certain ways and make you look crazy. So that, I think that's why I didn't even talk sometimes. Cause it was like, if I say something, it might come out wrong. It might look wrong. Yeah. So let me just chill right here where I'm at. And I think that helped me a lot, keeping my mouth closed, unless when I had to write a verse or rap. This is what we're here to do. So that was my job most of the time, rap. Let's not think about that and think about what that person's doing, what they're writing, and that person. Nah. So I think that, a lot of the contestants knew, man. Again, man, anybody could have talked to SeeFour or laughed with SeeFour. Shout out Jax. Me and her was laughing the whole time. Like just out, like even then, like I'll look at her and give her one look, like. And it would just be a whole laughing marathon. So I think with a lot of these artists, again, they're going to find themselves in better positions and better spots to put themselves in better lights so they can be known more. And yeah, that's just what we're going to keep doing. So
it's very well said. Very well said. Love it. Well, if you haven't watched the show,
go watch, man.
Go watch it. Definitely. You're going to find
some. Kid from Boston's on there.
He is. And you're going to find some great artists that you may not know of if you hadn't watched it. But of course, yeah. The man SeeFour was on there, repping Boston. We love it. Yeah. We're going to take a quick detour here before we talk about Spirit of a Warrior. We're going to do a couple questions in our pop quiz segment, which is a segment where we ask our guests rapid fire questions. Most of them have to do with you, but so you really can't fail. There's really no way to fail. So don't. I know you weren't a big school guy, so don't get all don't freak out about pop quiz. It's gonna be okay.
Also, too, man. Shout out to Nudia and Ultra Premium Gas for the glasses, man. I had to just give them a shout out and just say, these are the glasses that I'm taking off right now so you can see my eyes.
Very cool. But big shout out to Nudia. Actually, so we have a showcase series that we've been myself and a collective that I'm working with, 6-month showcase of shows at Nudia starting this month.
Talk to me, man.
I mean, we are going to talk outside of this. I just wanted, now that you brought it up, I was like, I might as well throw that out there.
Yeah.
By the time this airs, the first show probably already have happened, but make sure you check out those free shows monthly from April to October.
Hard.
One a month.
I love it.
We'll chat.
Love it. Yes.
Yeah, you might see SeeFour in one of them. Maybe. We'll see what happens. But again, pop quiz. Wanted to ask you a couple questions on this. So I know you mentioned this briefly a little bit earlier. I know you study, or you used to, I don't know if you still do, study James Brown for performing. Yeah. What's the most important takeaway you think you've had in watching James Brown's performances?
Ooh. Give me that question again. That was a great question. Okay. Give it to me again.
You want it again? Cool.
Yep.
So I know you study James Brown for performing. What's maybe the most important thing or notable thing you've learned in studying him as a performer?
His balance. I think that's very important. I think also my other favorite performance had impeccable balance, which was Jackie Wilson. And Jackie Wilson, he was great because he was a boxer before. So I think that a lot of those things take into account. I think that too, it's just about how you live your life. Like James Brown has a dope story. He has a intriguing story. So like I think that what he's lived through has like put him into that mode of performing and how he performs. Very erratic, very sporadic, very like just in your face. And again, I always say that was one of my first performances I seen where when they got off that stage, they were sweating, like sweating. Like I sweated out my hair because I was up here dancing and giving y'all a show. So James Brown is like, you could get so much from him. Fun fact, he never knew how to read music. So, like a person like me, I don't know how to read music, so when I'm speaking to my, drummers or instrumentalists, I'm like, do it like this, and bop, bop, bop. So he was very like, I'm a try to, how can I say, just communicate with you however way I can. and then, the regiment he would have was very competitive. It was like, I'm gonna have 2 drummers. And y'all gotta compliment each other and take, like, there ain't gonna just be no one drummer. Because when I say give the drummer some, I want to be able to point at 2, 3 motherfuckers, and they start playing, and it just gets wild. So basically, music arranging and coordinating, balance, music arranging and coordinating, and just putting your soul into some performances.
I love that answer.
So y'all don't feel cheaped.
I love that answer. Tell me about the time you lost your voice during the Sun Up tour.
Oh. That was a time I should have listened to Rob. That was one of those times. That was one of those management times where I was like, all right, yeah. Like, I think once I started working with Rob, I started to tally up, like, what I'm thinking and what he's thinking and what I say and what he say. And then what happens compared to how it turns out. It'd be crazy, yo. It'd be wild. I'd be like, I feel this way. He'd be like,
do you know the percentage right now of which way it normally goes in terms of who's usually right?
It's like, I would say it's a good.
He's anxiously awaiting.
It's like a good 60-40 right now.
60-40.
And I'm in the 40. He in the 60. Which is,
we assumed that.
Yeah. It's like a good and yeah. So that was crazy because one, we had to do 6 stops in 8 days. So we did. That's a lot, actually. Yeah. That and we did it in a Jeep Compass at that, a Jeep Cherokee Compass, which was great. Shout out to Gib. Shout out to my heart that came on the tour. That was an experience in itself. That was just, again, my first tour, really. And shout out to SeeFour as well.
They're dope. I just went to one of their shows fairly recently in Boston. It was awesome.
Yeah. Like, SeeFour is dope. You could do a lot with them if you know what you're doing, I think. Yeah, shout out to all, just everybody, all the venues, everybody. But yeah, we had to do, first stop was Philly, second stop was New York, and then we had another stop in New York. So we had 2 dates in New York, 1 Philly, 2 New York. Then we had to go to Baltimore and then go to Atlanta and then come back down to Washington. And I think I lost my voice like after the second New York show.
Shit.
I believe.
Wow. So that's like the solid last leg of it.
Yeah, because we was on our way to Baltimore, and I had to stay quiet. That was the whole objective from New York to Baltimore. It was like, bro, we gotta be quiet. And mind you, it's me, Gib, Rob in the car. We were listening to stuff, just talking, building. We're arguing, we're debating, we're doing mad stuff. So that was one of those things where it's like I can only imagine if I had like a band. Or like, if I was a part of Wu-Tang, we're on a tour, it's 10 of us. We're sitting there yelling at each other, dude. So that was a great thing to experience. And I couldn't have done it with nobody else with like it was a blessing to do it with the people that I did it with. And too, like my mother and my sister made some of the New York dates. They made the second New York date. So that was just good to have something going for myself in that moment to do it on my own. Myself, like, and be like, yo, SeeFour got to make it here. We got to be in the venues. Every venue we had to check into by 7, like sound check and all that was like 7-6. So we had to be on the road right after we get off of one road. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I learned how to conserve in that moment. I learned how to conserve. SeeFour don't yell as much no more, as I used to. I think I'm more of like, I'm calming down into like my voice and just like, yeah, bro, that's your prize. So unless I'm really like mad and I'm really like frustrated, it's like, but even then I'm still trying to like just balance that out because these things are important to the artist, man. The brain, the mouth, the head, all these things. So
100%.
That just learned, don't go crazy on the first days of tour.
Tell me about the time you were at Onyx in Atlanta when you were maybe not of age.
Yeah. So I drove. Fun fact: this is a crazy summer day. This is SeeFour 1988 Honda Accord time with the flip lights. That's what I call it. But I basically Rob had a plan to go to Atlanta with Clark, Sean Wire, and like a couple others, and we drove, and I don't know what came into my mind when I was just like, I'm coming with y'all to Atlanta. Like it was just like a thing. Like we got all the footage, and it's gonna come out one day, which is gonna be dope. And this is why, like with me and what I do, like I hold back certain things and record certain things and have certain moments just for when we understand why it had to go from here to here, and like in the middle what was going on. And maybe one day you caught me on some type of time and it was like, why was he on that time? That was the day. So it was just like I just woke up one day, heard they was going to Atlanta. I was like, I'm coming. And that was great. That was one of the best experiences I had in my life. First time driving down to Atlanta, I believe. Yep. And yeah, we drove, and once when we got there, I think it's like 3 a.m, 2 a.m. We get to Rob's house and we all just, settle in, put our bags down, all that. And then Rob just goes, all right, everybody get dressed. We going to the strip club. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, okay, let's go. Atlanta. So yeah, Atlanta gave me a great time. I think that was a great time. And then like, I think we made a bet. I think me and Rob made a game bet. Like it was like Nets against Milwaukee. I picked Milwaukee. Milwaukee won. Like so. It was during that series. Yeah, it was like $100 bet. Rob came in the kitchen. It was like, here, take the $100. Just threw me $100. Like, here, you won the bet. It was fun. It was a fun time, man. I swear. Like, and I wouldn't have that experience with no other people. With you know what I'm saying, than the people I had it with.
People that took care of you.
Yeah. So it was just dope. It was dope. I really lived like in Atlanta, man, for like a good couple days. And,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to leave.
Well, that was Pop Quiz with SeeFour. He did great. A+.
Craziest pop quiz.
What pop quiz asks you about a strip club? I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Not many.
Yeah.
I definitely want to talk to you about the deluxe of Spirit of a Warrior that released last year, but then the deluxe is coming out sometime in 2025, correct? And
yeah, so I released
6 more tracks.
Yeah, so I released Spirit of a Warrior last year, around like November, and we're planning to drop the deluxe this month. Honestly, I can say that with this project, it's been bringing out very much different layers of me. So with this deluxe one, we just want to double up on it, and the new songs that are on it are very are very up to par and just, I think, in real time, like what I'm going through. And just like, I think that experience on Netflix and coming back and making more music, that was the best thing I could have did as well. Doing that, you know, is going to really form this deluxe for me in so many ways. And then, you know, like I said, right now, it's music with me. Like, you know, sometimes, you know, I got to feel comfort in things, whether I'm shooting videos or whatever. I think I've always been like a podcast interview type of person because I've always loved watching them. But I think like videos right now and short form content, that's my focus right now too, to kind of like understand how do I want to give my picture and give my art. You know, again, Mona Lisa wasn't painted in a night because he wanted to understand what he was drawing, what he was painting, and getting it out to people. You know, some people still seen it and was like, this is what you took so long for. So I think we're all going to have those reactions, but it's about how we feel towards that art. So, and just to have it in a good cohesive time frame, you know, not too back to back. Like, again, like I think deluxe makes up of a deluxe of me and the layers of me. So the first one was just to give you some good body of work that you can listen to, you know what I'm saying, track after track after track, lit, hyper, serious, sad, you know, through like the heavy hearteds and, you know, just electrifying performance wise when you're hearing Wake Up. So, and then just monumental in my city wise when I think of songs like Crown or like,
Ooh, I love that Crown song, man.
Yeah. Or just Spirit of a Warrior, where it's like, this is my spirit, this is where I'm from, and this is what made me. So, yeah, like right now, this deluxe, I dropped it on Untitled platforms exclusively, just direct to consumer, and
good, I like that.
Yeah, just
it's a good way to do it.
Yeah, just to give it, just to distribute it to direct to consumer. Yeah, just so I'm not wondering.
You reward those people that are like kind of like your super fans, so to speak.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's I love. So like, you know, so many artists are doing that now, and I think it's such a good move.
Yeah, and there's so many ways to do it. You could, you know, start a subscribe channel on IG now. You can have people subscribe to your stories.
I know Najee Janie was in here about maybe a little under a year ago now, and was talking about Even Biz. I know there's Russell you had mentioned earlier. He's big on that. He uses that. I know Bandcamp's still floating around there, still a thing, right? So, like you said, there's a ton of ways to do it.
Yeah, there's a ton of ways to funnel this music, man. There's a ton of ways of breaking down this brick. So the way I like to break it down is in so many ways, and for you to have so many varieties and, you know, just flavors at that point. Yeah. So, yeah, I dropped it Untitled exclusively. Shout out to Untitled. I want to definitely build with Untitled. So tap in with me, man. I think that with this platform, there could be so many more things that come out of it that's great. And they're always updating it too, which is dope. They've been doing just more stuff to it. You can download tracks, not download tracks. You can, you know, put certain tracks for people to have links to and all of that. So it's very much something I seen when I wanted to do this deluxe, a different layer of me, you know, instead of just doing DistroKid straight to platforms, not knowing who's playing it, not knowing this, not knowing that. I wanted to really know who wanted the music. So that was good. And we're still doing it. Like, you can still contact me and be like, yo, I want to listen to the deluxe. I was doing it for a limited time, but like I said, man, I'm not going to hold music that's going to come out to you anyway. So, yeah. And then as far as for just the brand and how we're moving with spirit, man, it's just like, this is a body of work, like I said, you can really resonate with, you know, and it's via PutInWork Records, which is a label that we started. So this is just, again, all ownership foundation things.
Love it. And I love too, just like you had mentioned about variety and giving different versions of yourself. I just love almost like how, and in some cases, how like soulful you got on this project. Like I've always known you to be a rapper, and to hear your like singing voice a bit more on this project was like really, really on the. Well, no, I haven't heard the deluxe yet, but I'm talking about just the standard edition was incredible. The video and the song, oh my god, the name it's totally escaping me, and so I apologize. The one where you're more. You filmed it in a field, and you were just going to town.
Oh, you're talking
about
the SeeFour live. I did
that's exactly what it was.
a live with SeeFour, and I did it at Ronin Park.
Yes. Yeah, that dude, that was like, just to see that version of you, I think was different for me, because again, I've just knowing you from before, it was always that high energy rap, and this was a lot more like a different lens into SeeFour and who you are as an artist. And I think I just want to commend you for the well-roundedness that you've sort of become over the last 10 years.
Thank you.
And I feel like you've made so much progress in 10 years, and like I just feel like you have like the moon to go, bro. Like there's just so much more for you, and like I'm excited for you just as a person, and like you're just a good dude. Every time I've seen you out, and you've been nothing but kind and gracious to me. So I've always appreciated your energy, and I know a lot of people out here definitely feel the same way. So
thank you, man. And yeah, and if they don't, who cares, man? It's the world. I think that the world is getting crazier every day. And I think I'm getting older every day, and I'm seeing certain things that's just like, making up these elements of me, and I'm starting to realize more like what's more important, when it comes down to family and, your health and life and careers and money. It's just all these things. It's just like, some of these things are just here today, gone tomorrow. You want to be able to have something that you can cling on to and hold, so like, again, when I'm on my deathbed, I know I'm going to be listening to the last some of my albums. Like this is what I was doing, So again, like, I hold nothing back in this new era that kind of I'm in like this new phase. And again, I think now I'm every day like I'm just getting more serious about it and just more like,
as you should.
Yeah, I don't want to leave that on the table like that.
Don't.
If it's on the table, take it off the table. Yeah. So like, yeah.
You got it, bro.
SeeFour's coming to collect.
Yes, as he should. Bro, this has been a fantastic episode. I was so excited to finally get you on this couch talking to you. This has been fantastic.
Yes, thank you for having me, man.
Of course, man. Of course. No, like I said, it was long overdue, but you got enough going on. You always had stuff going on, but more so now than ever before. So I feel like this is a perfect time to have you. Can't let you go quite yet. Last segment of the show.
Yeah, let's do it.
One last question.
I want to leave.
This is the dream song scenario. And on the dream song scenario, basically how it works is you get a song. It's a SeeFour song. You can have any artists and producers on this song, dead or alive. I'll structure it for you. You get up to 2 producers and you get up to 3 guest features. You don't have to use all 3 and all 2 producers, but
so I get 2 producers, 3 guest features.
Yes, but you don't have to use all of them if you don't want to. We just can't be having you rattle off 10 artists because that'd be kind of crazy. But anyway, so take as much time as you need. Who would be on SeeFour's dream song scenario?
Jesus Christ.
I don't know how his voice would have been. Maybe I'm sure he's Jesus, so I'm sure his everything. I'm sure.
Okay, let's start with producers.
Yeah, good place to start. Good place to start.
Producers. One, we keeping that PutInWork Records in there, throwing Gibb in there.
Okay,
Gibbs in there.
I love that. Respect to the family that you're doing that for Gibb.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah, it got to come back and forth. I feel it. Gibb, and then
pair Gibb with somebody dope.
Yeah.
Like, throw him the oop. Right I got you. Throw him the oop. Yeah.
Thundercat.
Ooh, I love that.
Thundercat.
Hell yeah, bro.
So
great choice.
So Gibb and Thundercat. It's crazy.
Coming to Massachusetts in July.
Hey.
Marshfield.
Hey.
Levitate Festival. I'm going. I can't wait to see it. I'm a big Thundercat fan.
And then artists. Let's do it. Artists. Hook. Gibb and Thundercat. That's a different type of beat right there.
It sure is. I feel like Rob's thinking back there too.
I feel like he wants it.
He wants to answer. His gears are turning back there. I can tell.
Oh my God. Artists. This is crazy.
People have a love-hate relationship with this question in this segment.
On the hook, Almeida.
Ooh, I don't think we've had Almeida.
Yep.
Be chosen on one of these before.
Big shout out to TDE, Almeida.
Okay, I like that.
And then on one of the verses, Jid.
You and Jid on a track would go fucking stupid. That'd be insane.
Last but not least, Andre 3000.
All right, I want this song right now.
Yeah,
no shit.
Come on. You can see that.
I can see
like
that.
a little quick intro, little verse. Almeida on the hook, Jid in the middle, another hook on Almeida, and maybe have Jid harmonize with that hook. Then Andre 3000 on the last verse.
This is no shade to anyone else that's ever been on this show, and I've never said this on air. You can roll back all the tapes. That was my favorite Dream Song scenario right there, by far.
Yeah,
It's not even close. Well, because, bro, you got the Andre. I mean, Outkast was my first album I ever owned. That was the first album. CD, not that. First, album. Everyone was Outkast.
There's like so many artists right here on the wall behind me. That's so crazy.
Nah, it's all good though. You didn't have to. This could have been inspiration, but it's all good.
I could have said Childish Gambino.
Nah. This is good. This is good.
He said this is good. He said this is kind of like 75% possible.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? And what I love about it is that you kept one of the homies on it too. Yeah. So I love that. Like that's one of my why it's one of my favorites as well, because you showed a little love to the family.
Yeah.
So all right, you heard it here first. SeeFour featuring Jid, Almeida, and Andre 3000, produced by Thundercat and Gib. Shout out to you, Gib. Think it would be an absolute smash hit, and we're gonna put it out in the universe and make it happen.
Andre. And shout out to Scotty. I'm pretty sure he would want to be there, just somewhere in the corner writing. Yeah. But he wouldn't even probably even tell people he was there. And
I just want to be there for the vibes. So
it's Scotty. He'll be like, nah, bro, I wasn't even there. But yeah, man, Shout out to all those human beings and just everybody that's doing their thing right now. Spirit Deluxe, man, is definitely coming this month, April. I want to shoot for 24th. I want to give y'all a specific date, but then I don't.
This will already be out. That'll already be out by the time this airs. This will be early May for this one. So
okay, all right, yeah. So Spirit Warrior coming this month. Let's do it.
Cool. Hell yeah. You already kind of helped me out there, but if there's anybody else you want to shout out, now would be the time.
Yeah, man. Shout out everybody. Okay, and shout out you in this platform. I want to definitely say Turntable Teachers is, again, one of the best teachers out here to be teaching in this field of music. And I just want to say, shout out to Netflix, shout out to my team, shout out to management, shout out to my family, to the people that love me, shout out to my friends, shout out to, everybody that's out there going for a goal and a dream that, they feel like some people don't understand, but they're doing it anyway. And yeah, man, shout out to just all my supporters that support the kid, man, and keep supporting, because it's going to come full circle. Trust me.
I love that. Great way to close. Another fantastic episode, of course, with the one and only SeeFour. If you're a fan of SeeFour, just being introduced to us for the first time, be sure to follow us at Turntable Teachers on Instagram and TikTok. Be sure to hit up our website, turntableteachers.com, for all the latest. And of course, if you're an artist, podcaster, or content creator of any kind, be sure to check us out at aoastudios.org and book your session or service today. Once again, I had a whole fit change while I was going through that. And here we go. Put the glasses back on. You got the hoodie.
Watch when he sees what I was doing during the whole thing talk. But yeah. Love it.
Oh, I love it. SeeFour, thanks so much for being here,
Thank you for
having
me.
This is an absolute pleasure.
This is one for the books.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. As always, I'm Mike. That's SeeFour with the Turntable Teachers, and class is officially dismissed.